Hi, I'm Grier from the Sony Centre in Carlisle, and today I've come down to the Brooklands Museum to meet Sam Pilling from Sony to see a very special new product. So Sam, the A7 Mark V. I've had a bit of a play with it and it feels very familiar, but it's stunning. But it's still 33 megapixels.
It is, but don't confuse that with being the same sensor. This is a brand new, never seen before, partially stacked 33 megapixel sensor.
So the partially stacked means?
It means it has a frame around it, and that frame can draw information from it extremely quickly, which allows us, with an electronic shutter, to achieve 30 frames per second at full resolution.
Wow, that's certainly a big step up. Is that down to a new processor?
You're spot on, yes. And it's something we've never had before. It's our Bionz XR2 processor. Now, this is completely new for this camera, and one of the reasons it's completely new is previous alpha models such as A1 Mark II, A7R Mark V, they all featured our AI processing unit, which is great for recognizing everything from the vehicles that you see at Brooklands today to humans, animals, insects. They're smart. However, the original A7 IV didn't have that technology. The new Bionz XR2 chip combines both a Bionz XR and the AI processing unit into one chip, and we get benefits from that. So not only is it fast, it also emits less heat and it draws less power. So a great improvement overall.
And the autofocus has got the new AI settings as well.
Yes, the Bionz XR2 processor has built into it the AI technology you would have previously found in an AI processing unit. So it can recognize human heads, human eyes, human pose, animals' eyes, animals' heads, animals' bodies, same with birds, insects' heads, insect bodies, planes, trains, automobiles, and it uses 759 phase autofocus points, which is actually the same as an A7 Mark IV, but reacts better because of the AI. In addition to that, it's great in low light as well. It will focus down to -4 EV, so great low light performance.
And it's also got the new style Viewfinder as well for the screen, so it folds out similar to the A1 Mark II.
Yes, so the Viewfinder is very, very similar to the Mark IV, but the screen is the same screen that you've seen before on cameras like A1 Mark II, A7R Mark V. It's 4-axis, so you can pretty much tilt it in any direction for a wide range of different shooting experiences.
And the video performance?
It's also been improved, so A7 Mark IV could shoot 4K 60p, but with a crop, whether you want to call it APS-C or Super 35mm, it wasn't using the full frame. With this new model though, we can shoot 4K in 60p using the full frame of the camera, and if you do want 4K 120p, then you would use a Super 35mm or APS-C crop. So really versatile video options. Plus the options to add lookup tables to the camera's internal memory, the ability to shoot continuously for longer periods, because again, that Bionz XR2 processor, it emits less heat, and in certain conditions, maybe if you're in the midday sun in Spain, if you're in 40 degrees ambient conditions, you could occasionally get as little as 10 minutes recording time out of an A7 Mark IV. With the Mark V, our testing shows that that should easily be 60 minutes or even more.
So I see when I'm using it, there is quite a few premium features that come off the top of the range models.
Yes, so taken directly from our flagship models, A1 Mark II and A9 Mark III, is, well, one of them is pre-capture, where if you hold down the AF on button or half depress the shutter button, it will start buffering, and that's customizable. You could have anywhere between 0.03 seconds all the way up to a full second. The second you fully depress the shutter button, it captures the information in the buffer, so you will never miss a shot. And in addition to that, there's speed boost. So this camera, as we say, is capable of shooting 30 frames per second. That's an awful lot for an editor to deal with. So what we also have is speed boost. With speed boost, you can be shooting at 10 frames per second and you can jump to a higher speed. And again, it's customizable. The obvious one would be 30 frames per second, but you hit the button and uninterrupted, the continuous shooting switches between 10 frames per second and 30 frames per second. However, you will notice there's no C5 button on this camera, which previously would have kind of been the default for speed boost, but it's very easy to assign it to any custom key that you should like.
And the grip feels very much the same as the 7.4, maybe slightly different on the trigger finger?
Yes. So it's actually slightly heavier than a Mark IV. So it's been slightly modified to give you a little bit extra purchase where your top finger would sit on what's normally the shutter dial. And it feels comfortable, but extremely familiar.
So I noticed when we were shooting outside, you're getting an awful lot of good detail in the shadows, but still detail in the clouds at the same time.
Yes, this camera has one more stop of dynamic range compared to an A7 Mark IV. Like I say, it's a new sensor. It's not the same sensor as A7 IV, and with that we can drive it further to give us that extra stop of dynamic range. And
it's still got the 5-axis image stabilization built in.
It has, but again, it's been improved. So previously, A7 Mark IV we quoted as being 5.5 stops of image stabilization. This, in the center of the sensor, will give you 7.5 stops, and it'll still give you 6.5 stops at the periphery of the sensor as well.
And with the new processor being much more efficient, we're actually getting much more from the battery on a single charge.
Yeah, that's correct. It's far more efficient. So with the LCD screen, by CEPA ratings, which are quite harsh ratings, you will get 750 shots. And if you use the Viewfinder, which does consume slightly more electricity, you will get 630 shots CEPA rated, and that's 110 more than the CEPA rating for the A7 Mark IV.
And again, even in our windy conditions out there, the noise cancelling on the microphone.
Yes, this is also a new feature. You have the options, well, 4 options in reality. You have the option for wind noise reduction in camera or with external microphones, and also a noise cut filter for things like air conditioning, background noise. And again, you can choose between that on internal or external microphones.
And there's a new RAW shooting mode
menu system. Oh, sorry, there's 2 things there. Yes, there is a new composite RAW where you can take multiple RAW images and combine them together into one clean image afterwards using software, which we had on A1 Mark II. But there's also a new super resolution RAW mode where if you take it into Imaging Edge desktop, it will triple the resolution of the RAW file.
Holding it there, I'm noticing that the monitor, if I haven't pressed anything, is automatically dimming.
Yes, so previously you had 2 power save modes. Either the camera would go to sleep, which is kind of inconvenient if you need it quickly, or the screen would turn off. Both those features you can disable and set the time periods, but could be inconvenient if you're waiting for a very specific shot. So now you also have the option for the monitor to dim after a set period of time, up to 20 seconds, and again, completely customizable.
And connectivity, I'm seeing there's 2 USB-Cs.
Yep, and that's a first for us. So maybe you're shooting tethered to a laptop and you want to be able to power the camera via a PD supply at the same time. The number 1 USB connection is a USB 3.2 connection, a 10 gigabit connection, so extremely fast. The second one is the more basic USB 2 connection, but perfect for charging and continuously powering the camera, because this camera can stream 4K 30p, whereas the predecessor only did 15 frames per second, and it can also continuously, without shutting down, stream full 1080p as well as that. You might be interested to know as well, when it comes to connectivity, I've just brought it up, it's also more both secure with Wi-Fi, because it supports the new 802.11ax security protocol. Don't get too carried away with that. But the first A7 Mark IV had 1 CISO antenna, a Wi-Fi antenna. This has 2 of the more modern MIMO antennas, which is actually what you would find in an Alpha 1 Mark II.
Well, that's fantastic. So it's certainly a massive step forward over the previous model. So thanks very much for your time today, Sam. The camera's available for pre-order now, and it'll be in stock shortly in the store. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Let's
Cheers,
go get
Sam.
shooting.